Welcome to the Listen to Your Footsteps podcast. I'm your host, Kojo Baffoe. So my guest today is Reggie V Khumalo, an artist, motorcycle enthusiast, and creator of the Ubuntu Art Residency Village in Zanzibar. How are you, brother?
I'm alright. Yourself, Kojo?
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Can we
Lovely.
still call
Thank you
you
for having me.
Reggie? Can we still call you Reggie the Nomad, since it seems you've settled in Zanzibar?
Absolutely, man. I think, just like, Mziliga's was probably one of my forefathers, right? I think I've always had this, I will always have this, nomad in me. So, I think there's a lot more to come from me, like in different countries, settling in different countries, different places, different continents. So, yeah, I think definitely you can call me, Reggie the Nomad still.
Oh, good. What did
Yeah.
you want to be when you grow up?
I just wanted to be free, man. Cause I grew up traveling a lot with my dad, right? But, I just wanted, just freedom I think just to express. I think that was the one thing that I wanted, just to see the world, to experience it fully, you know? Yeah, I think that's an honest take on it.
Where did you grow up?
All over, man. All over. A bit of South Africa, a bit of Botswana, a bit of Zim, a bit of Namibia, a bit of yeah, I grew up traveling mostly, so yeah.
What was your father doing that you were traveling so much?
Well, I think I would say he was a businessman, but I can't really get into it,
All right.
innit? So yeah, just yes, yes, all over. Yeah.
So it's interesting because it probably gave you just a different outlook on the continent, which is very different from a lot of people, particularly particular era growing up in South Africa, where because I mean during apartheid, South Africa was so separated from the rest of the continent
Um,
that the perceptions and understanding of what life was like outside of South Africa was not there. And it
yeah.
sounds like
Yeah.
you got a very kind of rich education in
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely. You know, I remember, like, just generally, like, being a kid, a 5-year old, because, you know, I think your earliest memory is probably like you were 4 or 5,
Mm.
you know, and, my earliest memory was, um, I think walking downhill, bro, going up to Carlton to meet up with the uncle of mine. This is 93, right? I think. And, we were always on the move, and then seeing this TV on the window, small little TV, and I'm thinking, I wanna have one of those, and I'm gonna, you know, and they were showing someone traveling on that screen, and you know, it's just been something that's been that I felt like it called to me, or something was kind of laying it out to me, right?
Mm.
From a young age, just putting all these pictures of moving pictures, you know, moving environments, moving all of that, and taking the train from Joburg, leaving South Africa, to Botswana. And, I remember falling off the bed in the train, you know, it was a sleeper bed, a sleeper, coach. So, I remember falling off the bed, and it was just such an adventure already, man. And, I think that was it's just such an experience that I can never forget. That was my earliest memory, you know,
Mm.
of travel. And, it's like getting into another country and hearing people talking it's almost a different language and different mannerisms. That kind of really sinks into you. So definitely, I've had a huge advantage. I'll call it an advantage
Mm. Yeah.
to a lot of other. Yeah,
Where did you go to school?
I went to boarding schools, man.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I went to a boarding school in Zim. That was my high school, and then uh, did a couple other schools, different countries too. But Mostly I did education in Zen, and that was a beautiful experience. And a bit hard, I think, when I was younger, but definitely the more I got to understand myself and understood, um, just life a bit more, then it opened up a bit more. It became really such an adventure.
At what stage did art become something that you saw as a path for you?
I The moment it clicked, like, in terms of like, okay, cool, I could make a living from this, or in general.
Well, just the moment when you kind of went, this is a path I potentially want to go down. Like, what was your relationship with art before that, or growing
So
up?
yeah. I think that's a good one. That's a good one. Because I always could draw. I always could sketch. I always could, I was doodling around on anything that I could get I could sketch on.
Hmm.
And so art was something that I could do. So it was never something that I was like, oh, I need to learn. I need to, this is something I can make money from. It was like, I have it. So, I mean, like,
Yeah.
you have it, you don't care about it. I've always thought like, always, with black families and all of that, they always say, oh, art is not something that
Yeah.
you can make a living from. So they want you to be a doctor or a pilot or whatever. And I think I grew up with that until end of my A levels, where I'd done well in art um, and I'd done my architectural studies also. I'm not, my technical drawing, and I was admitted I was accepted, but I didn't go, of course, to a college in, not Cambridge, or not, what was that? Um, Somewhere in the UK, right? And I couldn't go. I couldn't afford, my
Yeah.
dad had passed, my dad had passed when I was young. So, his estate couldn't, it was exhausted at that time. So I couldn't, afford going further. But, then, I started looking for work on Gumtree, I remember, and I applied to something was still calling for art. So I was like, hey, I would love to, on my application or my little ad, I
Yeah.
put that I want to work with anything to do with arts, right? I want to work in an art gallery. I could be an assistant. I want to learn. I just want to be in the environment with
Mm.
art. And then I got a call, from an Afrikaner lady, in Centurion, saying, Reggie, come for an interview, to be cool. And, I went. It was a frame shop. They were only just framing arts. They were framing, photos and all of that. Okay, I took the job anyway. I got the job, and I started turning this place into a little mini art gallery on the walls, using the wall. So people would come and I said, why don't you hang your paintings on the walls
Ah.
and so on, right? And then we were selling a bit, and then the thing was going well. But of course, she didn't want to expand. So at that point, I'm 21, 21, 22 or so, and she doesn't want to expand. She doesn't want to take the next shop that was available next to her. So, because I was
Because
like, okay, then I saw, okay, I'm not,
essentially you've been curating the shop with
absolutely.
paintings.
Yeah. So she didn't want to take the next shop.
Yeah.
Mainly, I don't know. She was quite comfortable. So I thought, okay, I'm never going to grow from here. I'm never going to grow, so, and I just started painting, doing a little shows on my own with a friend, in the malls, little exhibitions in the malls. We'll get other people's art and exhibit. And then I don't know how deep I want to go into, I can go deeper into the
Yeah,
story if we've got
please do.
time.
Please do.
So, um, uh, um, and yeah, like, I had I used to play in a church band, right?
Okay.
At that time. And a friend of mine was like, he heard a calling or something. You could hear, the spirit could tell,
Mm.
and so on. So you felt that he was, that there was a word for me. So he told me that night before. I just went to the mall and started painting all of a sudden that day. And as I was painting, then he called me. This is my first painting I'd done since high school. And then he started, it's just telling me, hey man, Reggie, you're going to move from here where you are. I felt this is the word for you from God.
Mm.
You're going to move from where you are. You're going to be a big someone in the country. You're going to be known in the country. Then you're going to go further. You're going to be known across Africa. From then you think you made it, but then you're going to go across the world. You're going to shake hands with the presidents. You're going to be someone that's going to influence the world, and the world's going to know you. And
this was when you're working on your
I was like,
first painting.
okay,
Like,
this is my first day. I'm working on the first day, first painting in a little flat in a little flat, actually, not in a flat, but like, yeah. And then and I just, these church things, people always talk there, you're going to be this. And then the next day I take this painting, I finish the painting, take it, put it in the window in the shop. And cause I was riding motorbikes, and, I had passed a friend of mine who was in Centurion. Somehow he just rode it. He came to visit me, that day. And then, so when you got, he's like, oh, Reggie, man, listen, I'm just passing through, but last night I had this word for you, and then he literally told me exactly word for word. You're going to move from here. You're going to be this. You're going to be this across Africa, across the world. You're going to shake hands with the president. You're going to be influential. Same thing. Unbelievable, man. Like exactly word for word that what my friend had said. They don't know each other.
yeah.
They don't know each other. Okay. I'm like, okay, cool. That's nice. Now I'm like, okay, a bit panicked. And then someone walks into the shop that very same day, later in the evenings. And then, he says he's walking around. So he's got these, photos, and then he puts them on the table, and I'm like, sure, he's like, do you know who that is? And then he was shaking hands with, Kabila, of
DRC.
Congo,
Yeah.
DRC president at the time, and they were doing mining there and so on and so on. So they were doing the mines for the mines, basically, so on. They had the machinery and all. So he was the group CEO of that. And, so then he's just walking around the shop, and I'm still putting up the photos. And then he's like, oh man, who did that painting on the window, by the window? Then, I said, it's me. Then he's like, oh man, how much is that? And then, it was 4,000. I sold it for 4,000 rand. My salary was 4,000 rand,
Yeah.
man.
So it's basically a month's salary in one
my salary
painting.
was, in one painting. So I was like, oh, and then he's like, then he came again the second time. Then he's like, okay, man, make 3 paintings for me. Right? So I make 3 paintings. I make 20K, for that. I make about what? I don't know. It is, about roughly almost close to 20K with my salary about 20 something, right? Yeah. And then eventually then then he says on the last painting, says, Reggie, what do you want to do? So I told him, I've been working on this. This is how I've been working on it. I'd like to do a gallery. I'd like to do this. Then he says to me, Reggie, quit your job, man. And the group will I will finance your gallery.
Wow.
And, man, I couldn't believe it. Kojo. It was unbelievable. And, I said, no, how, what's on? Then I went and told my boss at the time. So like, Reggie, you owe me money. I went to, I bought you, I helped you buy this and this and this. So you still have credit, with me. So then I went back and I called the guy like, hey man, I can't leave because this, she's got, I owe her money and so on.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't worry, I'll come in. I'll come in. And I was like, and then she's laughing at me the next day, like, oh, you see, people always promise, whatever. It won't happen, Reggie. Don't worry. But anyway, then the guy walked in and then opened his laptop, like, what's the account? And then he paid it. It was over 12K at that time, man. This is like, just just slightly after the World Cup or so. I think 2010s around there. Even slightly before, actually it was slightly before, I think. I'm not sure, but somewhere then. Then he paid it and then he said, don't worry, you don't owe it. This is part of the, supporting you. And then I was the social development program of the mining group. And then funny enough, my mom had left when I was pretty young, left us anyway. And so there was always this, gap in my life where there was never really like a parent because my dad also had passed, right? And, so my uncles that were, at that time, my uncles, there was no connection anymore to my father's side of family, the Zulu side and, all of the, and my mom's side also, I'll say. So literally I was just,
Alone.
mostly on my own. Yeah. And, basically growing up, right? And, then his partner, the guy who found me, his business partner was, a lady by the name of Cindy Mavasokoyana. And she was the chairperson of the group, chairwoman, chairlady, of the whole, group of companies.
Yeah.
And she was Mavaso, and Mavaso was a brother to Khumalo, if you look at the past. So all of a sudden, I have my sort of, and then she then becomes my mentor. He was my mentor for a while. Then she becomes my mentor. And then, the mom that I had lost, I found, slightly now a young man, but I had found, and she started helping me, guiding me, Reggie, this. And, long story short, we opened a gallery in, Parkhurst. I was living in Parkhurst, and, everything changed, of course. I was doing well. I think he also even did an article on me, at that time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but yeah, I think you were with, you're still with, I'm not sure which one was that.
Destiny Man.
Something Connect. What was it? Destiny Man. Yeah. So we done an article. But it wasn't, of course, this detailed, right? So things started opening up, then, meeting the Becky's, meeting whoever, then all of this started opening up just as was said, right? And then, I don't know, even anything that was like basically touching or whoever I was talking to was like kind of like opening up doors for me. My neighbors were Mushroom Productions.
Yeah.
And Mushroom Productions were bringing the M&Ms. They were doing the staging for all of these YouTube or whoever. Like they were, concerts and so on. But then they'd open Skyrim Live. Right. With Skyrim Live, they were only doing it on Saturday nights. And, so I was really close with the guys at Mushroom. And, so we always took him over the wall and like, Reggie, come over. We'll go there. They come over to the gallery. And then they're like, Reggie, what else do you want to do? And I was like, oh man, I would like to do, gigs. I would like to do like a club or whatever, something. They're like, Reggie, man, we've got this space. They just brought more stuff. I think they brought pasta at the time, whatever. We've got this space. Why don't you come and, see it and then whatever. And then you can have it. You can use it from Sunday to Friday. You can use it. Don't worry about it. So now at a club too, in a way, just things were they were coming, man. They were coming. And, of course, with that also as a young person, you get arrogant. You get cocky a bit. And, I'm 24, 25, I think at that time.
And it feels like everything
And,
is just falling into place. So it's like a fulfilling a
everything
prophecy without you actually having to put in the work.
Yeah. Yeah. And at that point, I stopped, painting. The last paintings I'd done were those 4 paintings that got me that opportunity, which was crazy because but anyway, I look at it now, it's what is propelled, right? I just never liked to, at that point, it was like I was painting because I could paint. But there was no anything behind it. There was no drive. There was no story. There was no hearts. The spirit element wasn't there. And,
so it was more a means to an end, and the end was there. Like you were living good.
Yeah,
you were living good. You were doing stuff.
So
it's like, okay, well, I did that to get to here. So why do I need to keep doing that?
So exactly. But also I got preoccupied with doing the gallery duties, right? And, doing all of this, going to events, going to whatever. It's a fun, awesome life to be, a young person. Everything is quite available. You've got spending money in terms of you can travel, the money's there. You've got, basically you're okay, man. Then, I think then I chewed a bit more because I opened a yoga studio down the road, on Parker, on 4th Avenue in Parkhurst. I opened my own yoga studio. Then I had a little, art thing that I was doing too on the side of that. So everything was just, and then I started writing shows. I started writing some shows. Wase would meet me and then we would talk and then she would guide me and so on. So Cindy was opening up all of these people because she wanted this young man to grow and, be connected in a way. But of course, then then I got a little bit of a big head and then they were telling me eventually we had this board meeting and so on. They're like, Reggie, you're not ready. You need to learn a bit more. You need to whatever, so on to jump to then you can branch out on your own. So I'm at that point, I'm like, nah, you guys, you're holding me back, So then I said, then I sort of like parted ways. We parted ways and everything sort of, everything was working for a while, done some shows in Netherlands with the little thing that I was doing with some people that I partnered with. No cent I saw from that. Things started, and then, I had a bike, of course, then money was drying out. And then I sold my bike to pay for the yoga studio rent. I'm thinking like it's gonna work out, it's gonna happen, like you're in Parkers. There is the housewives, they're running up and down in the mornings. This has gotta work, surely. So I'm risking everything that I was getting from other things, from little paintings that I had sold for other people. I was putting in towards these little things. Spreading myself too thin,
What got you into the motorcycle?
So when I was young, and I think I'm not sure which country, I think, so when I was young, my dad, someone had owed my dad money. My dad was like, you're crazy. He took his motorbike. So the bike was always somewhere. And then, so I always seen the bike and I was always jumping on this bike. And, I liked it. I just felt like there's just, I remember thinking, I'm a biker. And then eventually I started working and I bought my bike and been riding since. Actually my brother had a bike too. So I was learning from him and then got my bike. Then I started learning again because he was a scooter. Then then I bought a 125cc, I think 200cc. Then I bought a 650 from that, so on. But, I sold that bike, sold my bike and, I started afresh. And then, so I sold everything, bike, whatever, any little asset I had, I sold. Any money that was coming in, I put towards the rent, towards this little project. And then it was done, man. I had no money. So that was it. And then, I remember I was really I was really down. I was staying, with friends now, moved in a couple, like a digs, a digs. So staying with mates. And, every day I'm like, something is going to happen. I was trying this, I was writing. I just gotten, what was that? Some money for a film that I'd written and so on, but like, it works with rebates.
Yeah.
So you still have to get someone to fund that. And that I moved around, man, trying to get this money. Cause I can't go back to Cindy. I can't go back to the guys to ask them to, and anyway, that didn't work out. And then I decided, okay, cool. Reggie, you've got art, you can paint, and you like motorbikes, and you like to travel. You've been traveling in your life. So how about you put those together, and then no one can ever rob you from that. And so I started applying. I did this proposal, trying to get bikes from BM, from Honda, and then Honda eventually agreed. They gave a bike, but I don't know what happened there. I couldn't. Don't know. To do with licenses, something to do with that. I don't know. I don't know if it was about that, but something. So that fell through. They were like, Reggie, when you're ready, we will still be here, something. Then I was like, okay, do I need to bike? Then maybe let me just take the bus. Then I contact Intercap, and then they gave me a sponsorship. Intercap says, okay, you can take get a ticket that you can, like a hop on hop off kind of thing. Yeah. They accepted that, but then I was like, okay, cool. Then someone told me about Bezbus. Yeah, Bezbus is like, for tourists, basically from Joburg down to Cape Town. You go through the eastern, you go down the east side, east coast, down through Drakensberg, through to Durban down the Eastern Cape, and then go all the way down to Cape Town. And you stop in these small little villages and towns and so on, like, and so they gave me a ticket also, and I decided to go with them. Where they couldn't, I would then do the Intercap thing, right? But man, then, so we started I started in Joburg. I was filming these places, and this little, basically like a little docu, right, about travel in South Africa. And I was just shooting that, and I was staying backpackers, and so that went on from Joburg all the way. I remember in Coffee Bay. So they've got this hill on the hilltop. There's like this, and then I decided to sit there one day and I looked into the ocean, and man, it has never ever been so clear, like hearing a voice so clear and so clearly that I just started crying, and, that was like I was, and this voice said, if you trust me, I will show you an adventure, that only your spirit can understand. And if you trust me, I will, so basically those words, but this was now more to me, it was now really, and man, I started crying a lot. Like, just like, there was no one near me, but like, I started crying, weeping, and it was all of a sudden my heart had found truth. Like when the truth hits you, there is nowhere to hide,
Mm.
and um, especially when something is spiritual and deep like that, Anyway, that I heard that voice and I carried on going down to Cape Town, shot a little bit, stayed in Cape Town. Then I eventually moved in Cape Town. I stayed there, backpacker kind of vibes in between, just hustling it out somehow, you know. I remember one time there was no bed, in this one, place where we were staying and there was no other place to go. So they this like, backyard, but there's like a cover on
Yeah.
it. There's like so the ceiling, the roof goes over it and then at the back and then, so they put cushions, a little like seats on the back. And, man, I remember I had to sleep there one night and man, I was shattered, bro. I was shattered and I was like, oh my word, I'm homeless. I'm literally, I'm homeless, and I was crying, man. I was crying. And then, the next day I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to kill myself? Right?
Mm.
I'm just, I'm thinking how should I do it with the train or whatever, so on. Then this one friend of mine comes in with Zol. And then we smoke it out at the back of this backpacker. And then, so he used to, train surf, like train
Yeah.
hopping, like where you see that, so you don't really pay for it, but you jump out when
Mm.
so on, right? So we did that all the way to, Musenberg. So we're chilling in Musenberg and actually I'm listening to this song. Actually, I had my headphones going on the train and I'm thinking, okay, so I'm going to see myself with the train. Okay, cool. I'm planning it. I'm thinking it. And then this song came on, man, by Ben Howard. This song came on and I'm like listening to the song in the train and I start crying even more. Now there's people all around you, but so I'm trying not to be seen, right? And this song hits me, jump off, go to the beach and I'm like chilling there and then I just could not give up, I just like you say, like it, I just could not give up. Um, and and I got back and I think I wrote an email to Cindy and I say, Cindy, I'm sorry. Um, I was, this is 2, 3 years later, man. I'm sorry. I'm 27 that time, 27, 28. Yeah. So I left when I was 24. So yeah. Yeah, so I left at 27. Yeah. And, I tell her what I'm trying to do and I apologize. I was a young man and I'm learning quickly that, there's things that there's a lot to learn
Mm.
and so on. And that she holds a very special place in my heart. Not that I want to come back, but I was just letting her know that I'm sorry, and they said, you know what? You're in Cape Town. Take the bus. We're doing this event. I don't know, with the Tashes or something, but, just in Hyde Park, somewhere in Hyde Park. We're doing this event. Come, where I'm chilling with the other mentees that I've been mentoring, also the girls. And, it's a monkey. We've been chilling, oh no, so then, we're going to be having this, it's a mentorship circle, whatever, so on, with Mum Becky and so on. So, yeah. So I went and then she said, then we spoke and then she told me also she has left,
The business.
she has left, yeah, she has left that
Yeah.
business too. There's something else that happened there too for her. So anyway, she left. And, and then so we just talk and we talk about life, talk about what's been going on with me. And I really openly just tell her everything. And then she says, Reggie, we're doing this mentorship circle. We want to find out how, like, we want the mentors to come up with a program that can best help, students get students into school, and the whole, school, fees must fall thing, support that. How can we assist with that? Then I was like, oh, but I've got a brilliant idea. I've been doing it actually, my travels around, and I'm gonna paint. With that money, I'm gonna be able to fund, take kids to school. But I'm gonna travel. As I'm traveling, I'm painting. I'm gonna get inspiration and I'm painting that, and then so on. It's like, oh, that's brilliant. And then then they're like, okay, cool. I was like, what do you need? So I was like, I need just a gathering of people. Let me do these paintings and so on. And then I can do this show. I can do a little mini show. So I get canvas, I paint. Now I'm back to painting since the last 4 paintings, right? Couple years later,
Yeah.
man, I do these paintings, I sell quite a bit. We did the show at, what's this place in Bryanston that, owned by Sean Bever. What's this, it's like a club now. It started off as
I'm not even sure.
with the star, with their uh, the logo is a star, like sort of
I'm not even
I
sure.
haven't been
You're talking about after I left the streets. So yeah, I left the streets a long time ago.
fair enough. Oh man, this thing, he's opened a couple of them. He's opened one in Durban. He's opened a couple. He started off not Oxygen. Just what is it called? But now it's a big thing. Anyway, there's DJs now, a whole
Okay.
lot. Anyway, so I did the show there. He was a friend of mine also from Podcast. We used to ride bikes together. And so he's like, oh, Reggie, you can do a show. It's okay, whatever. So they gave us a space and no pay, whatever. So I'm cool. And, sold a couple PCs with that. Able to buy some gear for my bike. And then one of the ladies from Whipple, Tomato and, Gloria Sorobit, and, but anyway, the Whipple ladies. So they then say, oh, Reggie, we're doing a project in, Lesotho, what, so and so on. And then I go, can you go paint a mural in this church? And then I tell them the price. Okay, that time just I got $100,000, rands for it. So straight away, they gave me a deposit, which was 50 something. I still had some money from the show, bought a motorbike, bought a BMW, I had to get a bike that was going to be able to take me across so this time I'm prepared to be a full on hobo, but with a bike. I'm prepared to be
And at the
in
same
my
time,
tent. I was like, yeah,
I'm like, at the same time, so what's fascinating me in listening to you tell these stories is ideas that for most people would be a pie in the sky idea, right? So the
yeah,
idea that actually, do you know what? I ride motorcycles. I can paint. I mean, you've done 4 paintings.
yeah,
You've done 4
yeah,
paintings.
yeah,
That's all you've done in terms of
yeah,
your painting.
absolutely.
But you're like, I like motorcycles, I like to travel, and I can paint. This is the idea. This is what I'm going to do. For most people, you get that idea, and it's just like you see the obstacles. You see
Yeah,
the things that are going to get in the way. So for me, what's fascinating me about how you're telling these stories is, and yes, I recognize with hindsight, sometimes it looks a lot more linear. It's not, life is not as linear
yeah,
as it is. But still,
yeah,
the fact that
yeah,
you've gone through, you had this idea, and kind of through time, you've realized the
yeah,
idea. And you've gone and told
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
people. You've said to other people, actually, this
Yeah.
is the idea. This is what I need. That's
Yeah.
what's fascinating me.
Yeah. 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 No, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's one of those that but also when you've got no other option,
Mm,
but to bet on yourself. Uh, and, also you've got nothing anymore to really be like, that gets in the way of, of the actual you
mm,
itself coming out. Cause all of that was really kind of like saying, no, you're looking at the wrong things. You should be looking within. Everything else was like a distraction, in a way. And I was we get caught up in a lot of other things and then you don't realize that the person, the God you're looking for is within, right? And, all of that.
my
And
father used to say that as men, we mature later. So we mature kind of in our late 20s. And what I found was at 27, 28, 29, I kind of, you kind of reflect on the journey up to that point. And it's kind of like you throw everything up in the air again and then you see what sticks.
yeah,
Like you have a plan. Like I was one of those, I had a plan and I was living
mm,
according to the plan. And then at 24,
mm,
25, things got shaken up. And then at 28, it was kind of like I'd had the experience of the plan. And then I'd had the experience of life not going according to plan. And it was literally
yeah,
28, 29, 30 that I found I found my path and I found my center. And I've just found, I mean, I don't know
mm,
about women, but I found with a lot of men, it was interesting for me when you said you are now, you're 24 and then you're now 27, 28, and you're able to go
yeah,
back and say, I'm sorry because you've been given or you've acquired the life experience to recognize also where you're at fault. And that requires a certain element of self awareness and self reflection that we don't have when we're 23.
yeah. I think the reflection definitely came from the journey. And I think it's crucial for every man to go on a walkabout. In Australia, they'll call it a
Mm,
walkabout. This is not just going to the bush and, like, our tradition would say, like there's that. And then there's the actual where there's no one around you that you have to go find. I like also sometimes I'm not any more religious, but there's some stories that I can take from the Bible, like Jesus going on this 40-day thing out into the
mm,
wilderness. I think it's crucial for all of us to have that moment in life where you need to go into the wilderness, you know, and also the 27 thing, I figured out that it's actually a quarter life crisis.
mm,
It's a quarter life crisis. We all have to go through that. And, so this is the break or make for a lot of people. If you don't come out from that, forget everything else. I mean, it's never too
yeah.
late to turn it around, but that's where I think we get the kahunas,
Yeah.
the kahunas are made then, I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to bet on myself. That is the perfect place to really start. And then also you've got this, because once you get to 30, this is where you're like, I don't care anymore. And this is who I am. You've kind of figured out, you've kind of like, I think it's developing, but you kind of like at that point, 31, you don't really care anymore what people think, and those that care, it's going to be, you're probably going to be the one that follows
Mm,
more than the one that sets a trend or opens up the path
yeah.
or opens up the way. Yeah. And so I tell them this, I tell Cindy the whole plan, everything else. And they, I sell whatever song, I get these 50K, I bought the bike and I've got the tent, I've got my gear full on, everything I get properly for the bike, for the trip, for just the road. I'm prepared to be living off the bike. The bike was, was me. The tent was me. The eating off cooking for myself on a little stove. That was me. I was satisfied. I was happy. I didn't want anything to do with anyone. Didn't want anything to do with, and then I traveled, man. And then I left Joburg and, to find now this is the interesting part. So I'd done that with the art. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I need to find this person again. I need to find what is the story about the art? Where's my spirit? What's my spirit around that? And I started traveling now, making art, painting in different towns, different places. And, I think I did South Africa for a year, traveling around. Actually, no. I traveled down to Lesotho. Then I left Lesotho because the church wasn't yet finished. So I couldn't paint, but they paid me half already. Then I went to, as I'm traveling through, then there was a huge storm, a snowstorm, and I'm on the bike, man. I never experienced the snow on a motorbike. My pinky was as big as my thumb. I had frostbite because I didn't have heated grips. So I was riding through Colesberg. I went through I've been everywhere in SA on a bike. Everywhere, every little corner, Eastern Cape, Western Cape, Northern Cape, wherever you can think of. Little places that towns where white guys are brown, where people are literally, man, like, they've been burned by the sun. Like they're like, man, I've been everywhere on the bike, but this was like a challenge I never experienced, and went through this snowstorm. Then I remember stopping in some farm. I was like, I can't go on. And I went with the bike into this farm. I'm like, so the one person was working there, says to me, I know the owners are not here. So I'm like, brother, Umxhosa at that time, this person, because I'm in the Eastern Cape, roughly there. And the guy says, oh no, man, the place is out. So like, can I please stay in the barn, man? So he says you can stay in the barn. And then I was like, okay, cool. And I take my bike, I put it in the barn. As I'm moving in the barn, the mother, the woman's like, no, you must come stay with us. It's too cold in there. I was hoping to just make my little fire in the barn, sleep right there, just like an adventure, like anything that you would think a biker would do, right? Like, you're out there rowing it out, proper adventurer.
Well, but let's say particular bikers, because I ride. I don't mind the occasional. I've did one camping trip for a night.
Yeah.
I'm like, my father worked too hard for me to be going and sleeping out in the elements.
Yeah.
So I'm not a huge fan of the camping. I enjoy the different styles. I enjoy the different styles of riding. I always say that I want to be competent in every style of riding. But you're doing it your way. Yeah, that's for you. I'm not doing snow, bro.
I had no choice, man. This was all I had. This was my home. The tent was my home. The bike was my travel, my companion and travel buddy, and this is all I had. So, anyway, they take me inside the house, and I've got my little porridge, the oats porridge that you can just put the 1 minute porridge, oats thing. The families, there's a fire in the middle of the house there, like, workers' quarters, sort of like, farm hands. So it's not really like the most, I think there was about like 9 people in one room. And, we are all, and then, so they've got a whole family, the grandmom, the grandpa, and the son with his wife and the kids and cousins. So I'm telling them the story of my travels. We're talking, and then they're like, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? No. So And, so, yeah, now it was like, and I know I share my canned foods that we share, and we had a meal, left some odds for the kids. And, I slept right next to the fire. They put me next to the fire, my sleeping bag. We're all sleeping around the fire. The whole family with a stranger. And then, man, such a, and this is where I start to experience Ubuntu, you know. And, you would think coming from Joburg, because Joburg also is quite a harsh, right? It's harsh thing that we talk a lot about Ubuntu. We talk a lot about it. And, no, this person doesn't have Ubuntu, and so on, but to experience it, I mean, I experienced it through Cindy, but in a different form. Experiencing it with people that don't actually have a lot is totally something that is, beautiful. So I said to them, I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back. I really want to take, the kids to support the kids for school and all of that, So anyway, I left. As I'm riding down, I think I'm, closer to, man. Sorry, my head is, it's been a while. I'm riding down to Cape Town. I stop in one town, Worcester, I think. Is it Worcester? I'm not sure. Yeah. Anyway, before Worcester, and, I got so sick. I got so sick, man. I couldn't, I rode in pain from there. I got so sick. I thought it was, I think I drank tap water or something. But I had issues anyway with my stomach, right? And then I got diagnosed. I just got diagnosed with stomach cancer. I was diagnosed with stomach cancer. Then then they're like, go do more. So I went to the hospital, and they're like, oh yeah, this. Man, I was like broken a bit because I just found myself, I just found myself.
Yeah, I mean, you found a rhythm again. You found a purpose again.
Yeah.
You've kind of found you, like you said.
Yeah. I just found myself, man. And, then it's, yeah, man. And then, I got to Cape Town. I was meant to do more scans and more, all of that. I just didn't bother, I was just like, anyway, it's, no one is going to stop this. I'm going to go on this bike ride, and, stayed with a couple of friends. And then I was telling the biking community I'm going on a trip across Africa. So people started reaching out to me. I didn't tell them about anything that I was sick. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even tell Cindy. I didn't tell anyone. Then I went to Kebagalus people were offering to come take me in. You're doing this. So come start from the most southern tip. You can be happy for it. So I rode down, I went down, people met me. It's beautiful, man. Africana community, people, different, all people just, opening up, little bags for my bike. People coming, oh, Reggie, come. I don't know I don't know if I can name them, but some, one company offered me bars for my bike so that I can put the bags and all of that. So, so they offered me all of these, and I managed to get all of that. Then one day I'm staying with friends. My friend had just opened a backpackers in Greenpoint. I'm staying with my mates at that time, and I stayed there for a month or two while I was fixing up the bike, getting all of this stuff together. From that money that I had, I was left with about, I think, $100 or so. Well, I'm going to use in dollars. And, I'm like, it's either now or never, it's now or never. So, the guys are sleeping, they're whatever so on. And I woke up early in the morning, picked the bike, hit the road,
How did you decide where you're going? Like, I mean, so you're starting at, the southernmost point and you're like, I'm going to ride across Africa.
Yeah.
But it also sounds like, I mean, I have a friend of mine, even if we're riding 200
Yeah.
Ks, on a Sunday morning, he'll map the route
Yeah.
in terms of the kind of roads.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like you had mapped any type of route.
No. I was just going with where I'm called, like wherever, like someone says, come over this side and then I'll go, and then, I didn't even have maps. I think, I reached out to one, I think map, something, map something map to Africa or Africa to Africa map.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. I think, I don't know.
Like it's map to map. I think it's called Map to
Yeah.
Africa.
Something along those. Yeah.
What I actually would like to find out, how did you end up?
Yeah.
How did you end up in Zanzibar? Did you? Because
So,
it's sold as you going from Cape to Cairo, but like you're saying, you were kind of going where the spirit led you. Did you go all the way up the continent?
I went all the way to Alexandria, Egypt. Yeah. So, I went from Cape Agulhas all the way to Egypt, through Sudan, Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania. And, I did it twice. This trip. The first time I just did the whole SADC. And then the second time, I went straight all the way. Because, the first time I really got sick when I got to Kenya. And that's when I had to tell Cindy about what I was, suffering for. Yeah, my stomach issues. And then I got back and then we did more tests and so on. And then we found out it was actually not stomach cancer. So I didn't have to panic, but it was something that was developing into something like that. So it was, we caught on and then I went for treatment for a couple of 2 months or 3 months. And then it didn't work out for the 3 months. Then I had to do another 3 months. And then from that, then I went again on the bike.
Were you painting now? Were you actively painting?
Now I'm an artist. Now I'm an artist. Now I'm even established now. Now my work is, got a prize and, meaning they had a prize then. So, but still now I'm, a bit of an artist and, I've done a bit of stuff in Kenya. I done, some stuff in, now I'm actually I learned how to carve. So funny enough, as I was traveling, like let's say I would go to Namibia, I was painting with a local artist there and then I did this piece and what's on. And then I went to Victoria Falls. The most beautiful thing that happened on my way between Botswana and Victoria Falls, I met an elephant, a bull of an elephant, on the road, and I was alone, myself and this elephant. I'd been looking for an elephant the whole time I went through Botswana, the whole time I went through the Caprivi, because I'm thinking, I see all of these signs that there's been an elephant, and I meet up with this bull, man, and there was no fear in me. I just stopped the bike and the bull also stopped. I got so, funny enough, I was moving toward it slowly, like just with a bit of an idling, like the bike and then coming closer and closer to the elephant, and the elephant just stood there, like it's looking at you. It doesn't really like that, but like looking through the eye, like, and it's like the road. This is the elephant. This is me. And like, it just stood there for a minute and I started crying and again, it was like something about that elephant was just so, majestic and magical. And it was almost like, because I can't tell the story without telling what happened just slightly before that. Right.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's going to get longer and longer because it's such a huge story. This is why this thing, anyway, um, I'm at the border, the Zimbabwean border, Botswana and Zim, and, I have to pay, to get in, I don't know, TIP, import something,
Yeah.
right? For the bike and all of that. So, man, I got no money. I got no money. I got nothing. I got nothing. Like literally nothing. I got what, 50 rands? 50 rands on me. The guy says, no, this is, for you to get in is $50. Right? So I'm like, so I'm standing outside there. The guys that hustle people that sort of like help people to do the paperwork and stuff. So this one guy comes to me, he said, man, what's up with you? I'm like, man, this is the situation. This is the story. I'm writing across. This is my story. I'm an artist. And then he says, uh, okay, come with me. Just bring your papers. Come with me. I give him my papers. He goes in. And then he gives the guys with the stamp, whatever, they do whatever. And then he puts his money, pays the $50 for me. Man, I'm like, it's a lot of other Ubuntu cases that I've experienced before that. But I mean, this was like, also nice. It was beautiful. And then this guy just paid for me the $50. I go in and I'm crying. I'm writing now. This is when I met up with the elephants. Yeah. And, the elephant, again, I hear this voice, let's go, like, it's just like, this is it, like, this is the adventure. I'm telling you, like, then the elephant eventually moved on and then just disappeared into the bush and, started weeping some more. I'm riding. I'm like, I hear you, God. I hear you. I'm riding, and because you're talking to yourself the whole time, you just got
Yeah.
and,
Because I mean,
I'm very grateful.
It's just you under that helmet, right?
It's just me under that helmet. There's no one, And long story anyway. Everywhere I painted, I did a thing. That's when money would avail itself for whatever reason. The
So what
story
would you do?
also.
Would you paint and sell it there?
No, I would paint it and then roll it up, and then I'll be like, I'm gonna be do a show when I get to South Africa, right?
Okay.
And then I did a sculpture in Victoria Falls. And the last day, I'm thinking, how am I going to go from Victoria Falls to Mozambique now? Right? I want to cut across the whole of Zimbabwe. And this girl who was traveling from New Zealand, she was going back to Norway, Finland or Norway, one of the two. Anyway, so this place had given me a room because I was shooting my story, filming, so they like exchange basically. Yeah. And then they gave me a room. So it's like, Reggie, let me see your room. So me, I'm walking out, I'm talking to someone, and then she walks out, and then it's like bye bye. She was leaving to cheers. Because she had heard of my story. We were talking about it for a while. We're chilling in the same place, She goes, and then that night I'm sleeping, and then all of a sudden something in my pillow. It's like a hard thing in my pillow. And it's hard. So I'm like, open up my pillow, and then I check out, there's like a little, something like, for, a tube, like, with a, like sort of, thing.
Yeah.
But it was empty, of course, but there was a letter around that with the elastic. Reggie, it was lovely meeting you. I really loved hearing of your story about your travels so far. And, I hope you get to the next place somehow. And here is something for you. I opened up. I have $50, man. I have $50 in there. And, I just finished the sculpture that afternoon. Yes, $50. I didn't ask. No one knew my situation, that I was broke or anything like that. Cause I'm not that person that I'm having a hard time, didn't want anyone to know. So, no one knows. the place is giving me a beer, giving me a meal there and there. So no one knows. I'm just like, everyone. She knew, man. She somehow felt that she had to do this. And then, I could feel it was enough to take me across. And I rode up the next day, man. I rode out the next day. I got to Mozambique, Bay Area, 2 days actually riding across, couple of weeks, a week riding across them. But I had enough.
Mm.
You know.
And so, ending up, so what actually happened with the artwork once you did
So I rolled it up.
the full trip now?
Yeah, so I rolled it up. Malawi, I did carving. I did so on. But I stopped. So I collected this work. Then I got sick. And, by the time I got to Kenya, I was extremely sick. So they wanted to fly me back. Cindy wanted to fly me back and fly the bike. But I rode back all again. I rode back all the way down. Started, did the 6 months, treatment. I had these pieces, so it was not yet finished. So I left them at the house. Then I wrote again all the way. But this time I have a name. I've done, some shows. So now I'm painting and then my work is selling. And then I'm like, I can't wait to have the impact. So I start building schools. I started taking kids to school with that money. So I'm selling and I'm making, building schools and building shelters. I'm taking kids. I'm feeding kids. I'm feeding kids in Malawi, Mozambique, going on all across Ethiopia. I build a shelter with the embassy, with the South African embassy. I donate and they show me what to do. All of this. So I started building schools with the money, and then I got to Egypt. Then the UN heard about my journey, and then when I got back, I was the UN. Then the UN came to approach me to be the UN ambassador for World Food Program, and then of course I got opportunities, and all this opened up. The story, my filming. We're meant to do a whole documentary there in SA. BMW also was an opening, which never materialized. Then of course COVID happened.
Yeah.
I did the show in South Africa in Joburg. I did the show, which was a very good show. Presented some of just my story with the women that I'd seen across my journey, and, with the UN, and, done this show. Did very well. And then, I decided to come on holiday I had another show in Netherlands. So I decided to do a two-week holiday in Zanzibar. Okay. I'd been already in Zanzibar. I'd passed through Zanzibar. The story about Zanzibar, on my trip in Zanzibar, when I passed, I had my first night in Zanzibar. I had a dream of living in Zanzibar. A clear dream. I was back in Zanzibar. I was leaving. I was whatever, so on. And, got back to South Africa, did the whole thing. And then 2 weeks, I was like, okay, let me take a trip to Zanzibar for holidays, right? I'm in, Zanzibar, holidays were like, first week, the UN is like, okay, cause I had sort of, not immunity as per se, but with the UN, cause I was a UN ambassador, so I could travel during COVID. So I, was going to the UK, to Netherlands, to do another show. And, then they closed Europe, and then they closed Europe. Even I couldn't fly. It was quite intense. I couldn't fly. They couldn't issue anything. So, I was like to my assistant, do you want to go back to SA, or do we stay here, man? And we've got the canvas, because I had my own canvas that I was taking to the Netherlands to do the work.
Okay.
So I'm like, man, we've got the canvas. We don't have to go. Let's stay and work from here. We need it anyway. Why not? Man. And then we stayed. And then, we stayed in Zanzibar for a year plus, and then year plus, we couldn't travel for a while. I mean, not even a year, a couple months. And then next then into the next year. We left in South Africa in September, then stayed until December, Jan, so on, so on. Cause also you could stay longer because of, of the whole country being,
Yeah.
the world being closed. So they didn't mind. And then the Zanzibar was open. The whole world came to Zanzibar. We didn't have to wear a mask here. We didn't have to wear
Yeah, because I
anything for the
remember.
whole time during COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I remember
So everyone
Tanzania
just
was very
started coming.
different. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just totally different. So everyone started coming anyway. And I thought to myself, man, I'm not going back. I'm not, this is beautiful. It's a paradise, it's really paradise. And then I was like, so I was making artwork, as I'm painting, my assistant is filming. Then we posted on Instagram. I was selling. Man, I was selling. I had a waiting list over 20 plus. I had a huge waiting list from there. I was making more money than I could spend it. So I started making a lot of money. So of course also the work started shooting up.
Yeah.
I was selling work not from 4,000 anymore, but like now, I started selling work for $4,500 dollars. And then it went up a bit. It was going up, right? And then, it got, I mean, yeah, I don't want to really say where it is now, but,
No way,
yeah, it's quite so,
we can all check online.
yeah, I guess, but, so, that's, then I thought I'm making this much money. Let me just, build something. Let me build a house. So I built a house. Then I was like, let me build a village. Then I built my artist resident village here. So now I just finished the artist residence space around my house, and potentially looking into to support the local arts industry here, and also support the local artists by bringing in different artists from all over the world. And you know, and from the work, just thinking about that story, I was from starting when I started, and the people telling me that like this is what your life is going to be, this is what's going to happen. You know, doing shows in Europe and all of that, all over Europe, and some of my collectors being, I don't know if I can mention this here, but I don't know, being in the, yeah, maybe I'd rather not mention that, but
All good.
probably the richest, probably one of the richest families in the world, and a couple of all of these people collecting my work. And I was just a guy on the bike in the bush camping, being invited to, all of these places, to dinners, to all of these places that, some artists that never, it's just been ridiculous experiencing the circle of, maybe, I don't know if they're friends that I'm very humbled by my story also. I'm humbled by, just how far something is going, or I suppose it's still going. But just seeing myself in a stadium, being a VIP in a place and, looking at this, that I was looking at these places when I was young on TV, and, the camera is spanning through me now. I'm on these, it's just such a beautiful, thing, and the beauty of it also, no one really knowing those things that I haven't shared with the world and so on, but being just still Reggie and having like that it doesn't faze me that anymore. But I'm able to just live my truth. And my truth has taken me to these people, has taken me to all these grand people that everyone looks up to the world. And I've done it my way. And I've done it, you know, through a motorbike. I've done it through a tent, through my hands in terms of art, painting, and, you know, yeah, so it's just been, yeah, you know.
What's your, I mean, how do you approach, what's the seed for an artwork? You've got a blank canvas in front of you. Do you have like a practice? Do you,
Yeah, yeah.
what's the process to starting a piece?
Most of the time it's actually traveling. You know, like, so I usually just move around. And then I've gotten, so the one beauty about the trip, the Cape to Cairo that it did for me was I got so raw and so sensitive to the spirit. You know, I got so sensitive, not religiously, but spiritually. I got so connected to it that I don't move without feeling it saying, this is what we want to talk about. Okay. Because if it's true to me, if it's true to my spirit, that means it's true to some people out there that it can really impact that way. You know, I'm not painting from a point of this is what's cool, this is what's in. I've seen some people trying to imitate my work, or be it Nelson, be it whoever. I would say be inspired by it, but listen to your spirit. And also, you know, like, but the spirit has to be soft enough to listen. Right. So, and how does it do that? You need to go through your journey or go through what you have to go through. Right. I'll tell you, Kojo, I got so in tune that I could feel water underground when I was in Egypt anyway, when I was crossing any place. I got so in tune with myself and like I'll be walking here or anywhere, and then my whole body feels the water moving down underground. And then you start to realize that there is streams in the air, there's streams in nature, there's streams in the plants, there's, you know, so, I start to talk through trees in terms of my paintings. You see, there's a lot of plants. And then there's a lot of, now they've just done a water series in Liechtenstein. I've opened a studio in Liechtenstein, by the way, which is, it's a beautiful, country. So nature speaks. And I mean, we are part of it. And the issue that we've done is sometimes is to separate ourselves from it, from everything else. Right. I'm listening and I'm trying to talk about this. And, another thing that, I'm working on a new body of work, which I'm bringing to South Africa, which is my homecoming show. I'm listening right now. I'm in the process of listening so I can conceptualize and come up with this new body of work. Yeah.
That's dope. And I see that you finally finished the residency, and because we met, I think we met very randomly a couple of years back, but since then I've kind of watched you and watched the evolution and the growth of the space. And I was actually, because recently you posted kind of that journey, and when you're talking about, for example, Muswatunya, Vic Falls, and how you shared how every part of the residency kind of reflects. It feels like you could walk in. I could walk in and follow your journey across the continent just from the space and the way you built it and how you painted it and the things that happened, the experiences that happened within it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And each room or whatever, anything that you see, the steps or, any bridge or anything is dedicated to, people that have played a part in my life. Like the room I'm in now is named, after Cindy, you know. So there is, I'm just waiting for the plaques. I'm going to do like little plaques that talks about this person, and I'm have each person's story, each little story about each little thing in the space. And for me, doing that is to signify that we are not isolated. We are a group of people, and we need people around us. We are Bantu. We are, in a sense, for me, we are, when you say Bantu, we're saying we are people, which is funny, right? Like, so we are people, all of us, whether you're Bantu or not, but we are all people, and we are not isolated.
Yeah.
Everyone plays a part in people's lives, and I want to highlight that. And with my story, also I want to highlight that as I come back to SA now, to say a lot of us can play a huge positive. This is one part that the spirit is whispering, the Ubuntu side of it too, right? And there is also the whole African thing that Africa needs to find its own law. Right. But anyway, you will hear about that as we go. But so, yeah.
No, man, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, Kojo. Thank you, man.
Thank you for listening to this conversation. Please leave a review and subscribe. Check out the show notes for links to the guest, the podcast, and myself. I hope you enjoyed listening to the conversation as much as I enjoyed having it.